Hey, what is up, everybody? Chat here, and today we're gonna do something different. All right, so I finally have access to DC Comics and stuff, so I'm gonna actually start doing those with the Marvel comics. But common sense, you know, common sense would tell me to start, before Flashpoint and work my way up. But common sense ain't so common here. I'm gonna just start. I'm gonna just start at Rebirth, like the last little reshuffling of the titles and stuff. So basically, I'm gonna try to explain it the best way I can. Cause I'm not even 100% sure how it works myself. It was a little confusing for me, but the way I saw it was initially you had DC, okay? They wanted to shake some stuff up, so what they did was they had this story called Flashpoint. Flashpoint, basically it's the story of Barry Allen going back in time to save his mom. And when he did that, it messed everything up pretty much. Everything was just, messed all the way up, the entire time stream. So he goes back in time again, and when he comes back the second time, everything it's more similar, but there's some differences. Take Wally West for example. When he the first time he went back, there was the normal before the pre-52 Wally West, the tall white guy. So after he went back in time and came back, there was this. It was basically this little black kid. He was the new Wally West. He was the new Kid Flash. So this right here actually kicked off the stories of it kicked off the shuffling of New 52. That's basically what that was called. So what they did was they wanted to bring some stuff back before from before New 52. They wanted to bring some of that stuff back, keep some of the stuff that they, with New 52. So what they did was they actually, they started off Rebirth. Rebirth is basically trying to reshuffle stuff and have some of the old stuff come back that everybody pretty much. The old Wally West, basically, who we're gonna see in this story pretty much. So this story, we start off with Barry Allen. He's actually investigating this murder that happened, basically, of this lady. Now her name was Heather Macy, and basically while he's there, they're basically looking at it, and it's basically her husband is basically saying that he did it pretty much, and while he's saying that, the kid, their son, he's saying that it wasn't his dad, it was some kind of monster. Now anyone that knows Barry Allen's origin, not his origin, his one of the most important thing that he struggles with is the death of his mom, because that is exactly the same thing. It's basically this exact situation. It basically mimics it. His mom was killed, and he's basically saying that his dad didn't do it, but his dad just said he did, just because he wouldn't be able to explain if even if they did believe him, he wouldn't be able to explain what it was that did it, because it happened so fast. So while he's doing that, he's struggling with it. He's talking to him, and some of the guards, they started saying some they started sounding like dicks, not gonna lie. And Barry, he's just all right, whatever. He just walks away. So the director Singh, he's trying to take Barry off of it, because he knows how emotional he is about it, because this is real for him. He actually was in this kid's situation. He knows what's up. That's why when director Singh tries to take him off, he's just nah, I think I'll handle it. If this was done right when my mom was killed, we probably would have got this guy out of the way earlier than we did. And he wouldn't been able to kill all these people pretty much. So he's doing that, and while he does that, we actually end up going over his origin when he gets ready to leave pretty much. He's talking about his mom and dying, his dad going to jail for it. Eventually they was able to clear his name. They got rid of Eobard Thawne, stuff like that, and basically saying how he became the Flash, how he was struck with lightning, and he actually ended up running into a shelf filled with chemicals, and all the chemicals fell on him, and he ended up going into a coma for a few days, and when he woke up, he was the fastest man alive, and he was imbued with the Speed Force pretty much. So from there, we actually go to him and his dad. They're talking, and his dad is basically telling him that he just can't get over this, because it's basically it mimics his situation so bad. It's basically the same thing. And he's basically telling that he can't process it, even though Dawn's in jail, he's out of the picture for good, and basically saying he needs to slow down, stop slow down, stop rushing through stuff so much pretty much. So while he's doing that, Barry starts telling him about the little visions that he has. He has these little visions of the old Wally West, the white speedster, and Thawne, and his dad's basically asking him if anyone's ever tried to study him, And like he's like, oh, well, I mean, yeah, people have like examined me like all the time. And he's just like, no, not you, the Speed Force. And basically like he says that Argus, Star Labs, and Justice League, all three of those groups, they said that they have a treaty saying that the Speed Force is basically off limits. Because like after seeing what happened with Flashpoint, studying the Speed Force, there's like a lot that could go wrong. What if it like, you know, what if you end up going back in time accidentally, you know, messing something up and you can't go back in time again? You just messed up the entire timeline. What if it, you know, malfunctions and, you know, kills everyone? You know, you just messed up everything. Like it's very delicate. Okay, not everyone could just, you know, just like go and just do whatever in it. Even Barry Allen couldn't do it. He messed up the entire timeline. That's clear. That's one of the reasons why everyone's, you know, can't remember stuff. Well, everything that they have right now. That's why the New 52 is there, pretty much. You know. So, while he's doing that, he actually ends up running back to the lab, right? And like, you know, he's going to study all these samples and stuff that he got from the crime scene. And like, since his computer isn't as fast as he is, you know, he takes the time that the computer is taking to, you know, to analyze all this stuff. And he goes out and, you know, he starts helping people pretty much. Now, while he's running, the Speed Force actually calls to him, all right? The Speed Force, you know, like he's running, he sees this bright light, and when he sees this bright light, there's this figure that starts like coming out of it. It's basically the pre-52 Wally West. You know, he's actually coming to Barry Allen from the Speed Force, basically, like he's trying to talk to him. So he's like coming out of Speed Force, and he's basically saying his goodbyes to Barry, pretty much. You know, he's like, okay, Barry, you don't know me, but I know you. You were good to me this entire time. You helped me grow, stuff like that. But he's basically saying his goodbyes, you know. And Wally, he's like, you know, I mean, not Wally, Barry, he actually ends up like remembering who Wally is. Cause like the thing, if you get stuck in the Speed Force, you can't come out unless people remember who you are. So when Barry Allen actually remembers Wally, you know, he says his name. He's like, oh, it's Wally. And you know, it ends up grounding him. You know, he's in this timeline now, pretty much. So, with that, you know, they start, you know, they hug and all that stuff. You know, they're all happy and stuff. And, you know, Wally, he starts like talking about how 10 years of everyone's like lives were basically like taken from them, like their memories and stuff. You know, they can't remember, you know, the recent 10 years and stuff like that. That's why Barry couldn't remember Wally at first. So Wally starts telling Barry about Flashpoint, right? Telling him how he went back in time to try to save his mom, you know, stuff like that. It messed up the timeline and it created a new one, pretty much. So he's like, Barry starts, you know, like he starts like feeling like it's his fault pretty much. But Wally's like, no, it's not your fault. There's something else at play here. Someone else stole all our memories and stuff like that. So while he's doing that, you know, Barry, he like starts to get ready to try to like run back to Iris, you know, it's like tell her that her nephew's back pretty much. But Wally, like one thing that Wally did, like when he came back, he tried to go to Linda. That was his wife before he was like erased from the time stream. He tried to go to her and talk to her, but she didn't remember who he was. And like, you know, like it's like it would suck if he went to his aunt and she didn't remember who he was. You know, he couldn't talk to her, you know, pretty much stuff like that. That's why so like when Barry tries to go and talk to her, he tries to stop him pretty much. And he's telling him that, you know, he's not ready, you know, stuff like that. And basically saying, you know, we gotta split up. You know, we gotta split up. I'm gonna go to the Titans. You know, I'm gonna see what I can find out with them. See if they can tell me anything, pretty much. And Barry, you go do what you do. Barry ends up going to Batman because he actually has this letter. He's gonna go and talk to Batman about the letter that his dad gave him after Flashpoint. So they do that. You know, they run off. Flash goes to I said Flash. Wally goes to the Titans, and Barry Allen, he runs to Batman. You know. And when he gets there, Batman, he's talking to him about some some guy showed up to him, like with this bright light around him. And, you know, like when he left, it ended up leaving like this little button. It's like this little yellow button, and it has like a smiley face on it with like some blood, and it like leaves that on the wall. So now he's basically like trying to analyze that. He's analyzing that, and he's trying to see like what if there's any connection between that and the letter that his dad gave to him, pretty much. So that's what those two are doing. And Barry Allen, he ends up like leaving from there after he talks to Batman to see if like to see where he is with the case that he was working on. You know, the case of the mom being killed by the dad and the son saying that it was a monster, you know, stuff like that. So that's basically where all that is at right now. With the end of that story, if you're new to the channel, subscribe. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, and I'll see y'all later.